speaking of brothers we lost, Ed, because it's getting crazy, especially in the industry that you helped to build as a pioneer. This hip hop industry, it feels like we're losing too many too soon. As you know, we just lost Young Dolph. He was
Oh
laid to
my
rest in
God, bro.
Memphis.
Man, you want to talk about, I hear a lot of people use the term, this one hit different, this one hit different, but Dolph got to me like Pop Smoke got to me, like Nipsey got to me. Like these are young cats. They're not supposed to lose their life at such a young age. And the way that Dolph was doing it, and the funny thing about it, I wondered like, how did he get that name? Like you know, I was like, did this guy like was saying something, to the effect that I'm like a dolphin in the water and I'm doing my thing? I didn't realize his name was Adolph, and I have an uncle named Adolph. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, okay, that's where he got Young Dolph from young Adolph. And I got it. I never really explored it that way. But for a young cat like him, that was positive, man. This dude had a wife. He had children. He had his own company. He wasn't running around acting crazy in the streets like that. No gang bang affiliations or nothing like that. And for him to lose his life, it just goes to show you, man, that you can't make a mural, Prez. You can't make a mural of fallen rappers because you always got to leave room for somebody else.
Oh my God. Now
You
you
never
talking,
know. And
man.
I thought that we as black people would have learned, especially after Biggie and Pac. I thought that should have been the end of it. I was like, there's going to be no more shootings of black rappers and we're not going to die. Yo, I did my podcast, Come On Son, the podcast, and I did a whole thing on it, and 51% of all rappers that die of murder. That's crazy.
That's crazy. That is
51%.
that's insane. This culture of ours, it is so it's scary, right? Because you fight your best. All of these young artists coming up, they're fighting to get out the hood. But once they make it, they just went into a whole other level of danger.
Yeah.
That could end up, taking their life.
Yeah, and you wonder
And
why
there's
why nobody wants to keep it real. You wonder why nobody wants to stay in the hood. You can't. You cannot stay in the hood. If you make it and get to a certain level, stay in the hood. It's almost too dangerous to go back to your own city. I see Lil Boosie say your city hates you worse when you make it than they
Yep.
did when you was coming up.
Yep.
They don't love,
It's
man. It's no love. You got to get out of there and stay out of there, man. I give you a classic example. King Von. Now, King Von is from O Block. The church that I attend to and is a member of in Chicago, New Beginnings Church. And Pastor Corey Brooks, a great pastor, man. Right on that block. On one end was the church, the other end was a community center, right? Church is still there. Yo, King Von and them is from the worst neighborhood in Chicago. The people that they have beef with are no more than 4 blocks away from them. And this is deadly beef where murders are happening back and forth, back and forth. You know what I mean? And he leaves from O Block to try to save his life and move to Atlanta and gets killed in Atlanta.
insane.
It's insane.
It's insane.
And no matter what he
Yeah.
did, I'm not privy to all the charges that he had against him that he beat and murders that people say that he did. But I knew every time that he was called by a pastor to come out and do something for the community, he showed up. Every single time.
Yeah, I mean, I learned more about Dolph, after his murder.
Right.
Just how much he was doing for his community, because I didn't know that he was that involved in the community, and everybody had nothing but positive things to say. Now, granted, when people pass away, yeah, people are going to talk the best about him, but I didn't realize just how much he was trying to give back and save the community that he came from. But I'm looking over his career, and at one point, and it's just crazy because I don't understand why we as a people and why the rappers go through what they go through. 2017, as you know, he is shot at 100 times.
Yeah.
Like literally 100 times. The
100
only thing that
times.
saved his life was he was in a bulletproof SUV.
Right.
Is this what it come to, that you literally have to drive around like the president in bulletproof SUVs?
Unfortunately, right now, I would say, yeah. If you made it to that level that he made it to, I would say, yeah, let's not even forget that he got shot before. He was shot in LA before. And then 100
Yeah, he
shots
was.
at his SUV that saved his life. And then these guys that recently killed him, they're on camera. This is a blatant in the daytime homicide. They're on camera. Like what are we thinking about here? What is so important that you have to murder somebody? What is that important? Is it a war of words? Did Dolph personally kill somebody in your family? I don't think so. What is going on right now that we feel like murder is the answer to everything?
You know, I wish I could answer that question. It's so unfortunate because I remember in looking at that footage, and people were out there that day and they were filming the cookie shop that he got killed in, and then the police had to rush over to Yo Gotti's spot. Yo Gotti has a retail spot down there in Memphis, and both of them was going back and forth for a while, but the cops had to rush over there just to protect and make sure it was no retaliation coming that
Right.
way because, as you know, those two had a little bit of beef over the years.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy.
It's crazy that they're to the point where it's gunplay. Beef is beef. Beef is always going to be there. Beef is, all the way back to Shorty Low and T.I. getting at it about who's the king of Bankhead. Lil Flip getting at it with T.I. You know what I mean? 50 and Rick Ross. And even before that, all the way back to Mo D and Busy B, Jay-Z and Mobb Deep, Biggie and Pac. It was supposed to be beef always about who's the best, who runs this or who runs that in their city. That's always going to happen, but it's supposed to stay on record. The disrespect's supposed to stay on record. Disrespect is never supposed to be to the point where guns are drawn. It's never supposed to be to that point. There was a big war of words going back from Jay-Z and Nas. Huge war of words. That didn't end up in gunfire because they learned their lessons from what happened between Biggie and Pac, set two totally different sides of the country, the East Coast and the West Coast, against each other. And both of them brothers lost their lives. When are we going to get to the point where we get it? When are we going to get to the point where we like, yo, all right, chill. Okay, you said that, I said this. We, make money off of it. That's what I say. Get together and be like, yo, bro, I'm going to go hard at you, and then you going to go hard at me, and we're going to start this, and we're going to do this so much that people going to think it's real beef, then me and you going to drop an EP together and get all the money. That's the way you're supposed to think about it, not just, yo, he said this, that, and the third. We're going to shoot his joint. Come on, man. And it's never the artist. It's never the artist. It's always the outside dudes. Always the dudes that don't even rap.
Yep. It's always your mans in them.
Always the mans in them.